and welcome back to another edition of Outside the Ropes here on this Tuesday. Hope you are all doing very well out there. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes as always, Matthew Moore. Now we are back here in my home once again. We're not back in the studio just yet, but we're here for another night of Outside the Ropes and let's fill you in with the latest news that's been going on in the last 24 hours in the world of professional wrestling. Now, if you missed last night's episode of Outside the Ropes with myself and my co-host Tony, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go back, hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen and go back onto last night's episode and you can watch it there with myself and Tony as we get ready for last night's Monday Night Raw and all the other latest news and ongoings. And if you're listening to us on Speaker or iTunes, you can go back and listen to us on there as well. Now, we're still in my home. We haven't got back into the studio just yet. We're hoping to get back in before the end of the week, fingers crossed. So we're still here, and I'm here on my own tonight. Tony isn't here, which is kind of unfortunate, but he should be back before WrestleMania, as it is this Sunday, guys. We did say last night this is the start of WrestleMania week, which is this Sunday, live on the WWE Network, and also on pay-per-view, if you want to watch it on pay-per-view. For you guys watching this here in the UK, the price of the pay-per-view is, in my opinion, quite a lot, $19.99, or you can subscribe for £9.99 on the WWE Network, or if you're watching this around the world, guys, it's around about $60 in whatever country you live in, or $9.99 US, or wherever it is you're around the world in your currency. So don't forget to check out the WrestleMania this coming Sunday on the WWE Network and also on pay-per-view, which I'm looking forward to. And we've got some more stories on tonight's episode here of Outside the Ropes of what's been leading into this Sunday's WrestleMania on the heels of last night's Monday Night Raw. Now, before we go on to any more of today's episode of Outside the Ropes, just want to give a wee shout out to our friends and partners of the show, as we always do here, as it is those guys who help us keep the show going. We want to if you are historians of professional wrestling, don't forget to check out our friends, first of all, at Wrestling's Past. If you're new to wrestling, guys, and you want to find out all about the history of wrestling, Wrestling's Past is the location to go to. Go to their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and also on Twitter. Don't forget to check them out on Twitter, which is at Wrestling's Past. So don't forget to check those guys out. They are great friends, and without those guys, well, part of the reason why we wouldn't be on the air here as well. So I'm sitting here in my home, and I've got the iPad here in front of me with all the latest news and ongoings, which I'm going to bring to you here on the podcast as you're listening to us on iTunes now, or you can see me here, hello, on YouTube. So first of all, let's get into last night's Raw. Myself and Tony did predict a little bit of a confrontation between the three matches that we thought was going to be heated. Bit of a altercation last night on Raw, which sadly enough didn't happen, which I'm quite disappointed in. It did happen a wee bit with the Cena Rusev thing, but Raw kicked off last night, guys, with Sting. Lo and behold, we're waiting 14 years to see this. Sting finally kicked off Raw. We saw Sting walk down the aisle live on a Monday night on Raw, and he kicked off Raw with an opening promo. Sting fans around the world have been waiting to see this for a long, long time, and finally they got to see it last night on Raw. Now, Sting was interrupted by WWE Chairman Vince McMahon's daughter and CEO Triple H's wife, Stephanie, as she got into the ring and tried to confront Sting. Pretty much tried to run him down and say, "Welcome to the big time," and tried to basically get in Sting's face. And she tried to slap Sting, but Sting held her back. Then Triple H came out and get into the ring, and we thought Triple H was coming to the ring with the shirt and all, taking the shirt off and the tie, and we thought, okay, here we go, we're going to have a bit of a confrontation here. And again, all we had was a stare down with a sledgehammer and a baseball bat. What's going on, guys? Seriously, but we want to see altercations here. We want to see physicality, but we didn't. Maybe they're leaving it to tease us for WrestleMania this Sunday. Which I can't wait to see this match, because I think it's going to be a great match. It's a match that every fan from not just the Attitude Era, but from the era of before the Attitude Era wanted to see. Triple H, for Hunter Hearst Helmsley, we're going to call him, step into the ring with Sting. So there you go. Was it okay altercation? It's just, it was pretty much like Taker and Triple H done a few years ago, where they had the altercation in the ring where they stood face to face and didn't say a word. But actions speak louder than words. So there you go. But don't forget to check out that match this Sunday at WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of Sting fans who've been waiting a long time to watch this match happen, or even see Sting compete in a WWE ring. But it will happen this Sunday at WrestleMania. The other altercation as well, which this match I'm looking forward to, is John Cena and Rusev. This match is going to be, I think, very physical. Again, Lana was not on Raw last night. As we all know, she's away filming the WWE movie, or a movie for WWE, sorry. But we hear today that Lana will be on WrestleMania this coming Sunday. Now, Michael Cole did mention on the air last night that there's a bit of heat apparently between Lana and Rusev. But for what we hear, this is all just a plot for this match coming up Sunday at WrestleMania. Now, we haven't heard anything who is going to come out on top. I haven't heard any leaks or stories about this story. All we know is that apparently Rusev's going to be getting a special entrance, that we did mention on last week's show, where they're going to be having marching Russian soldiers. Whether Cena's going to have a special entrance, we don't know. He normally does, but we'll see what happens. This match coming up on Sunday at WrestleMania. Another thing as well, out of the big three confrontations that me and Tony wanted to see happen last night, was the big one between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Guys, it ended Raw last night with these two guys were in the ring face to face, and to be honest with you, it was like watching two kiddies in a toy store fighting over the last toy. That's the truth. It was pretty much a face to face. Brock Lesnar holding his belt up, saying, "No, this is my belt," and Roman Reigns taking it off him and saying, "No, this is my belt." And then they take it off each other and stand in the ring and act like two little children pulling back and forward on the. It's like pulling back and forward on the belt, like two little kiddies standing in Toys R Us fighting over the last ever action figure of John Cena. That's right. That's what it was like. A lot of fans were not happy with this. They were extremely pissed off with this, and that's how we went off the air last night with Raw. We wanted to see physicality. The fans wanted to see physicality, and it didn't happen. So there you go. But before we hear as well when Raw went off the air, the fans were extremely pissed off, and they started to filter out of the arena, even though a lot of them didn't know that they were going to be taping Smackdown straight after Raw last night. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Other things that happened on Raw last night, we had the appearance of rapper icon Snoop Dogg, who got into a bit of an altercation with Curtis Axel. Axelmania running wild as always, leading into WrestleMania. And we had a surprise appearance from Hulk Hogan last night as well on Raw, which was quite good to see. Hogan getting a bit physical with Curtis Axel, giving him the old right hand, and Snoop Dogg clearing the ring. We had Hulk Hogan doing his usual poses for the crowd, along with a very, should we say, not muscular. Well, I know I'm not in wonderful shape, but not very non-muscular Snoop Dogg. But it was an entertaining segment. Again, all for the hype and the build-up for WrestleMania. Also, we had more build-up for this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I'm looking forward to. But actually, I've actually got a list here of more of the competitors who's been added to it. I did have it here on the show's iPad, but I think I've actually lost it here. I'll bring it up in just a second. But we'll have more people added to it. The likes of Zack Ryder, Adam Rose, which Tony pointed out last night was looking a bit more like Hollywood Hulk Hogan with the black and white and the black and white fur. Oh, don't even get me started into it. But yeah, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Would like to hear guys who you think is going to win that Battle Royal. Now, the best way we'd like you to get in touch with us, you can send us a tweet at Outside the Rope on our Twitter account. Who you think is going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal this Sunday? Me personally, I don't know who I'm going to go with, to be honest. It's going to be a hard one to pick. It really, last year I was pulling for, I think it was Cesaro, The Big Show, and I can't remember who the other one I was pulling for last year. But it's going to be a hard one to call this year. I think it'd be quite funny if Curtis Axel actually won the Battle Royal. But I've heard a story, and this could be possibly true, guys, that apparently we're going to have a last minute entrance into the Battle Royal this Sunday at WrestleMania, and it's going to be Sheamus. Now, you heard it here first. This could be true. We don't know just yet. And Sheamus could win the Battle Royal this Sunday at WrestleMania. Now, if Sheamus does enter the Battle Royal at the last moment, I personally think that he'll win it because he's supposed to be coming back strong, possibly as a heel. But whether this is going to happen or not, I don't know. Also, we had a big build-up last night for the Intercontinental Title. This ladder match coming up on Sunday, which I'm looking forward to as well. Stories coming out of WWE today is apparently Daniel Bryan's going to win the title. Now, in our wee story, I was told there by one of our good sources here at Outside the Ropes that there's a possibility that the main event could, how can I put it, with John Cena and Daniel Bryan possibly becoming the lower card champions, they could be more the main event matches for pay-per-views coming up, because for what we hear, Brock Lesnar could possibly retain the title this Sunday but not be on television as much. And how I'm trying to explain this to you is, especially here on the video as well as iTunes, obviously the podcast, is Bryan and Cena could be defending their titles more in the main events for the coming pay-per-views than, say, the WWE World Heavyweight title being defended at every pay-per-view. Now, whether it's true or not, we don't know, but for all we know at the minute, this is just a rumour. I hope I'll explain this to you guys, right? But, you know, this is what we're hearing here to show. Obviously, this time of year, we hear all the different stories of what's going on. But back to the matter at hand with the Intercontinental Title Battle Royal. For what we know that Daniel Bryan is going to win it, I think it's going to be a great match. It's going to be high spots, it's going to be high finishes. You know, I would love to see Wade Barrett retain, not just because he's from the UK, guys, but I think Wade Barrett's a talent for the future. He's now got a gimmick that he's sticking with. He's going well with it. The whole bad news thing's getting over really well, and I think it would be good to see him leave WrestleMania still the Intercontinental Champion. So there you go. But I mean, in closing for Raw last night, we had Randy Orton making a statement as well with his match come up against Seth Rollins. We also had another creepy promo from Bray Wyatt last night on Raw. Taker is now obviously not going to be appearing until Sunday at WrestleMania. What's he going to appear as? We all hear that he may be appearing as the American Badass. I can't really see that. I think he is going to be the Dead Man. But with WWE, you never know. But in closing from last night's Raw, I thought last night's Raw was a decent show. Not a great ending, guys, to be honest with you, but with it being the last Raw towards Mania this Sunday, I don't know. But they did tape Smackdown last night, straight after Raw. The results are out online. You know, we'll probably get them. We would say to you to go to our website, but we're still working on the faults, and I don't know what exactly is wrong with our website, outsidetheropesradio.com. We're hopefully trying to get that fixed before WrestleMania weekend. Fingers crossed, of course. But Smackdown was taped last night, and apparently the arena was not full because a lot of fans on hand didn't actually know that Smackdown was being taped, and they were actually leaving the arena early. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. It's Smackdown. I don't want to give it spoilers, guys, and ruin Smackdown for you because obviously it's leading into the WrestleMania weekend. I don't want to spoil it for you, but we do know the results, but don't want to spoil it for you. Okay. But some more news as well. I mean, again, guys, as you know, we're not in the studio here. I'm trying to dig out all the news here and get something here. Hall of Fame announcement last night, as we did say. Kevin Nash, we did hear it was going to be Big Daddy Cool Diesel as the character, but no, they announced it last night that it's going to be Kevin Nash, who's the final name to be inducted into this Saturday night's WWE Hall of Fame, which you can watch on the WWE Network as well. Or if you're here in the UK, I think they're going to show it on Monday, I think it is, on Sky Television, or wherever it is else you're watching it around the world. But Kevin Nash, now all these stories come out in the news today that apparently Kevin Nash was going to be supposedly inducted by Mick Foley. Quite surprised there. But we hear this evening that apparently it's not going to be Mick Foley. And we don't know exactly who it's going to be, whether it be Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, we don't know, but we're going to keep an eye on that story over the next coming days and bring it to you here on Outside the Ropes. So Kevin Nash is the final name to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and what a class we have this year. The likes of the Bushwhackers, Medusa, Randy Savage being the big one, Little Connor getting the Warrior Award as well, Larry Sabisco, all those great names that are being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So we're looking forward to that this Saturday night from San Jose. So, and Kevin Nash has actually sent out a tweet today saying that he's inviting fans to come along to celebrate his Hall of Fame induction this Friday night in San Jose. So if you're in the area, get a cheap ticket. The information's on his Twitter account, and get along there and say hello to Kevin Nash as he's celebrating being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this coming Saturday night. Other news has come out today, guys. I did mention this a week or two ago maybe. Global Force Wrestling were trying to get a TV deal to start television tapings in Las Vegas. Now, I have made an announcement today and put a video up on YouTube that Global Force Wrestling is still coming to Las Vegas this coming July. Now, whether it's going to be for TV tapings or just live events, we don't know. Before the news at the moment is still that they haven't announced anything about a TV deal, but Global Force Wrestling are coming to Las Vegas this coming July. So stay tuned to their website and here on Outside the Ropes for more information on Global Force Wrestling. Some TNA news now. Dug more TNA news today because I have been getting a lot of grief on my own personal Twitter about TNA, about not talking about TNA as much. We all know last week the episode where Kurt Angle won the world title aired, and Tony said last night on the show that he did watch it. So, but I've got information here regarding the episode of Impact. So bear with me here if you're watching me here on YouTube. Last Friday's TNA Impact with the Kurt Angle Bobby Lashley match for the world title apparently drew 403,000 views. Now, we did talk about this last week, or it was the week before last, how low their ratings were, but just check this out. It's up from the previous week of only 330,000 viewers. The replay drew apparently an impressive 143,000 views, making the total for Friday's Impact overall, Friday's Impact Wrestling, over 500,000 views, 546,000 to be exact. Apparently it's up from last week's total, which was 414,000 views. So TNA, good week for ratings for them because they're obviously on that channel, Destination America, which a lot of people still can't get, for what we know. But the ratings have jumped this week, for there you go. So I hope that may continue, guys. I've said this many a time. I hope TNA do start getting this thing turned around and get back up there again and become number two. And well, they still are basically number two, but I mean, start getting up there and where they were before. I mean, obviously they'll not go back to their glory days. Everybody's talked about it here on the show many a time. But it's somewhere for other guys to go and work. If they get released from WWE, it's somewhere else for somebody to go. Yes, you have the Ring of Honors and stuff like that, but there you go. So all may continue. Now, I haven't watched the episode of last week's Impact, so Tony has filled me in on it. I may even check some of it out on maybe YouTube or something like that when I get a chance. Maybe we can get off the air here today, maybe. Don't know. Interesting thing came out yesterday. Now, we didn't hear about this until today. Hulk Hogan done a very good and interesting interview on one of the sports channels in America, talk about John Cena and obviously coming up this WrestleMania this Sunday, where he thinks Roman Reigns is going to win the World Heavyweight title. Now, guys, we've been talking about this in the show for a long time. We've been going on the air here for 2 years. We've been talking about when's John Cena finally going to turn heel. Hulk Hogan not so much made a statement, but more said about what was his views on John Cena possibly turning heel one day on WWE TV. Now, he did say, and I quote, well, this is, I haven't watched the full interview, but from what I've been reading, Hogan said that if Cena was to turn heel, it would work on television, but outside the ring, he would still be the great guy that everybody knows and loves, because as Cena did say in a recent interview, and I've said this myself many times, people might not like his character, but outside of the ring he's a great guy, but they might not like his character inside the WWE world, but outside the ring and stuff, he is a great guy. So there you go. But Hogan thinks this Cena heel turn will work, and it could be possibly as big as whenever he turned heel back in 1996 when the NWO first started, when Hogan first turned to the black and white Hollywood side, the dark side of Hulk Hogan. So I think it'd be a great turn. Fans out there have been crying out for it for years. They said they won't do it because of merchandise, etc., with WWE, and all the other jazz that goes along with it. But Hulk Hogan has clearly stated in public that he thinks that if John Cena was to turn heel, it would work. So there you go. One final bit of news for you today, guys, as well. Samoa Joe. Now, we've been talking about Samoa Joe here on the show for a while. He's appeared on Ring of Honor recently, and he has been, teasing a possible move to WWE. Now, what we've been made aware here, I think it was late last night, our head of production, Catherine, actually sent me an email telling me all this news, and go to the website and find out all those stuff and bobs and bits and pieces about what this news. But for what we hear, this past weekend, Samoa Joe has been telling close friends and relatives and people at a local independent show that he was working that apparently he has been speaking with Triple H, and a deal has apparently been agreed, well, partially agreed, for him to join WWE this April, which is next month. And the deal apparently is for Joe to start in NXT. Now, the reason why he's going to start at NXT is because apparently Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon don't think very much of Joe as of yet. But apparently Triple H, as you all know, it's been noted that Triple H has thought very highly of Joe and would love to sign Samoa Joe to NXT. Now, after recent time, things on the WWE Network we've been watching and stuff like that, Triple H has clearly made it clear to the fans that he's not trying to make NXT more of a developmental now than more of a new brand of the WWE. So bringing in guys like Samoa Joe, we also talked about the Briscoes apparently joined as well from Ring of Honor. This would be a big move for WWE bringing in Samoa Joe, and he has been sort of teasing around people, and apparently he has been telling people that he is more like the deal's more or less done, and he is on his way to WWE. And we all know he did work for WWE a long time ago and done a few dark matches and stuff like that. But you can find it on YouTube, which you can watch. But yes, Samoa Joe is close to this deal, and he could be on his way and hitting our screens sooner than you think on NXT, or maybe even in WWE TV itself. But there you go, Samoa Joe could be on his way to WWE sooner than you think. So there you go, guys. That is going to bring us to the end of today's podcast. Short and sweet. Don't forget, guys, this Sunday we are doing our WrestleMania pre-show, where we're going to be, well, the way things are looking at the moment, guys, it's going to be back here in my home. We're going to be having a bit of a WrestleMania party. Our head of production, Catherine, is going to be here. We're going to have Tony here as well. We're hopefully going to try and get a couple of other people to stick their head through the door and say hello, as it is WrestleMania. I want to give a big shout out to our friend Tommy, who left today for WrestleMania. I hope he knows the time is now. He's probably still on his flight to the States. That's our former co-host here of Outside the Ropes. Hopefully Tom will be looking forward to Tommy's Twitter tweets, can't even speak, his tweets and his Facebook messages from America at WrestleMania. It is his first WrestleMania this year. I am sporting the WrestleMania shirt that I attended at my last WrestleMania, which hopefully that will change next year when I hit the 32 in Texas. But yes, this Sunday, guys, we're doing our pre-show where we're going to talk about all the matches, the build-up to the matches, who we think is going to win the matches, and our favourite WrestleMania moments, etc. Now, if you want to get involved in the show, you can do it, guys. We're on Skype. We're trying to figure something out here for Sunday where we're possibly going to try and get somebody on the air via the Skype wall. If you're watching us or you're listening to us and you want to do it, get in contact with us now so we can get it organised with Catherine and get all our team from behind the scenes to get everything organised for Sunday. So if you want to come on and say hello to us and talk about your favourite WrestleMania moments, you can certainly do it. Check us out on Twitter at Outside the Rope. Remember, guys, no S on the end, just Outside the Rope. We're on Facebook, Outside the Ropes Wrestling Talk Show, or you can send us an email, outsidetheropes@yahoo.com, and hopefully before Sunday, our website will be back up and running again, outsidetheropesradio.com. what a final thing this way, guys. Don't forget, once again, check out our friends at Wrestling's Past. For all historian of professional wrestling, Wrestling's Past is the place to go to. If you're new to wrestling, you want to check out Wrestling's Past, you can go back and check out all the old archive photographs and stories, especially on their Twitter as well, at Wrestling's Past. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to hit the road for another day. I'm going to send this podcast now across to our wonderful head of production, Catherine, and she can do all the editing for the video and for the podcast, etc. And we'll be on the air shortly. So, guys, I'm going to hit the road, and thanks for tuning in. Most importantly, if you're watching this on YouTube now, below, push the subscribe button. Please tell everybody about our show. We'll be back in the studio soon. So we'll just actually see, we're going to try and do more of these videos on YouTube that I see, so we'll talk to you and communicate with you face to face. Our iTunes downloads are doing wonderful as always. It will get busier this week because obviously it's WrestleMania week. But don't forget to tune in tomorrow, as we're back tomorrow with more latest news and scoops. And more likely we'll be back here in my home. I'm still here on my own, but I'm trying my best because we're moving studios and it's an absolute disaster. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in to this Ropes, guys, on this Tuesday. And so no matter whatever it is you're doing the rest of your day, even if you're watching this on Wednesday, I hope you've had a great Tuesday. But if you're watching this right now here on Tuesday, whatever you're doing, guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. So for myself, Matthew, I will see you all back here, same time, same place tomorrow for more discussion here on Outside the Ropes.